Hello and welcome. The following is a step-by-step guide for the assembly of the 8315 CTFP and 8315 CTFP .220 volt, installation differing only in their electrical connection requirements. Haas highly recommends a licensed electrician and plumber for the electrical and plumbing connections. Instructions for both can be found in the Operations and Maintenance Manual on www.haasco.com under the Resources tab on the product's homepage. The equipment should be installed in close proximity to potential accident areas. It should be clearly identified, free from obstructions, and easy to access. The 8315 CTFP is suitable for use in Class 1, Division 2, Group B, C, and D areas. Begin by unpacking the 8315 CTFP and refer back to the O&M for a list of parts included and quantities of each part. Prepare the foundation. Orient the floor flange so that the hole in the upper half faces out towards the sides of the shower. You will need to supply 3 rust-proof 3/8 inch anchors. Locate these anchors so that one is directly toward the front of the shower, where the user would be standing. Assemble the dry lower support stanchion. The threads must be tightened as normal, but do not need to be sealed as they are non-pressurized. Pull the right side jacket from the factory assembled section. There are 2 small pieces of seal trim holding the jacket on. These can be discarded or saved and used later to assist with the installation of the other jacket components. Add the factory assembled section onto the lower support stanchion, ensuring the unit is oriented towards the anchor in the floor flange indicating the front of the unit. Again, tighten as normal, but sealant is not needed. If it is helpful to your installation, use the optional included union. Use pipe sealant on the threads and ensure the heat trace is not damaged during this process. If needed, apply one of the larger zip ties where the inlet plumbing exits the shower jacket, creating contact between the piping and heat trace to better protect the incoming water connection from freezing. Ensure that all above ground supply or recirculation piping is protected beyond this point with heat trace insulation and weather sealing. Install any plumbed accessories at this point. For those accessories requiring heat trace, additional heat trace is secured to the front of the vertical piping above the eyewash for this use. Begin assembly of the non-pressurized shower piping. These threads do need to be sealed. Be cautious during the process not to over-tighten these connections and to prevent any factory plumbing from rotating out of alignment during this step. If needed, hold the steel drain elbow at the back of the shower valve while installing piping to it. When installing the elbow, take care to properly align the direction of the elbow with the front of the unit. During installation of the street elbow, do your best to ensure a perfectly vertical installation. If crooked, the shower flow could be affected. Take a moment to finalize adjustments to the shower piping before moving on. Screw on the stanchion shower nozzle hand tight and install the optional shower bell by sliding the bell over the nozzle and pushing the retaining ring up the nozzle until you hear it snap into place. If needed, seal the shower nozzle connection with 5 small beads of Dow Corning 832 sealant on the male threads just above the first thread. Place the insulation tubing immediately above and below the factory insulation. Use both of the integral adhesive strips to fully close each piece around the piping. Use the 5 included zip ties to secure the insulation into place. 1 zip tie at each of the 4 ends of the new insulation, and 1 around the top of the factory insulation above the shower valve. Be cautious when installing the lower insulation to not pinch the loose drain tubing. Tighten the zip ties enough to seal the insulation around the pipe, but not so much as to damage the insulation. Place the horizontal jacket support tapered side down onto the horizontal shower supply evenly spaced, and the vertical jacket support tapered side forward onto the vertical shower supply. These will support the jacket and help to hold the jacket in place during the installation of the seal trim. Replace the right side jacket onto the main body, fitting it into the grommets located on the rear supply and eye face wash supply. Hold it in place by installing the unmarked seal trim length. To make the seal trim easier to install, bend it tightly away from the point of engagement and press the seal over the jacket flanges firmly. It is recommended that the single tooth on the inside of the seal trim be installed on the same side as the jacket flange holes. Continue jacket installation with the lower jacket. Press together over the piping, insulation, and drain tubing and slide the jacket up into the factory jacketing above it. The remainder of the seal trim is color-coded as each piece's length is different. For a visual guide to their installation locations, see page 6 of the Operations and Maintenance Manual. To join the rear flanges, we will use the seal trim marked with red tape, and to join the front flanges, we will use the seal trim marked with blue tape. After the lower jacket has been secured, install the upper vertical jackets, repeating the previous process. Join the jackets over the white foam jacket support and slide them down into the factory jacketing. Use the seal trim marked with white tape to join the front flanges. Overlap the top jackets onto the upper vertical jackets previously installed. The white jacket support should help hold the jacketing in place during installation of the seal trim. You will use the seal trim marked with green tape to join together the upper and rear flanges, and the seal trim marked with yellow tape to join together the front flanges as shown. Be sure not to install the seal trim on the front flange too low, as this is where the sign will be installed later. Make sure the jacket surfaces are clean around both valve stems, and install the 2 adhesive rubber covers over the valve stem openings. Press firmly after installation to ensure proper adhesion to the jacket. Next, install the push flag in the vertical position and use the 3/8" hex nut and adjustable wrench to secure it into place. Follow this by installing the shower lever in the shown position, securing it in place with the larger 7/16" hex nut and adjustable wrench. Lastly, for the user controls, secure the handle in place by using the 3/8" machine screw and the 7/32" hex key. Ensure the handle is pointed out and away from the jacket. Press the auxiliary port cover into the auxiliary port on the rear of the unit if not being used. To install the Axion eye-face wash head, remove the plastic thread protector and place a small bead of pipe sealant on the threads. Twist on the Axion eye-face wash head and tighten into place using the adjustable wrench, being careful not to over-tighten and ensuring orientation of the green plastic tab on the head of the device is facing towards the rear of the unit. Note the location of the junction box and power supply connections on the side of the unit. If not immediately connecting the unit to power, install the junction box cover. Use the 4 thread-forming screws to bolt the shower sign to the upper vertical jacketing where the front flanges have been cut away. This process can be made easier through the use of a power drill if one is available. Lastly, install the small black zip tie and test tag onto the unit in an accessible location. An ideal example would be onto the iFace wash push flag. If there are any non-plumbed accessories to install, such as the SP220 foot treadle activator, now is the time to do so. At this point, you have successfully assembled the 8315 CTFP freeze protected shower and iFace wash. We thank you for watching. If you need assistance or have questions at any point during this process, please don't hesitate to contact our customer service team at 1-888-640-4297 or technical support at 1-800-766-5612.